Today is Sunday, April 23rd, 2023. This is the second article I'm going to read to learn more about the Chinese Communist Party or CCP. So here we go again. This one is from the New York Times. So it would be a nice article to practice English by reading aloud. I respect the New York Times, the famous newspaper company in the world. So here we go. The Communist Party of China and the party state. Indisputably, the CPC, is still the absolute power center in Chinese politics, even if such absolute control was once weakened under Zhao Ziyang and later tightened up again by Jiang Zemin. Deng Xiaoping made the so-called Four Cardinal Principles sacrosanct in Chinese politics. Sacrosanct, very sacred, sacrosanct, untouchable. The party's leadership trumps the adherence to Marxism, socialist system, and the people's democracy and dictatorship. Sacrosanct. The party's leadership trumps the adherence to Marxism, socialist system, and the people's democracy and dictatorship. Jiang imposed his overall guideline for China's governance. The party stands aloof, assumes overall responsibility, and coordinates all sides of the government, Congress, political consultative conference, and the masses organizations. If the latter are the bones and fleshes of Chinese politics, the party is undoubtedly its brain, its nerve center, and its sinews. The party commands, controls, and integrates all other political organizations and institutions in China. The party state or partocracy accurately captures China's political reality. The CPC follows the Marxist and Leninist principles for a party of the proletariat. Let's find out its exact pronunciation. I think proletariat. I looked up the pronunciation several times so far, but I cannot remember. But proletariat. Not proletariat, proletariat, I think. Proletariat.
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 Proletariat. Proletariat.
Proletariat.
Proletariat.
Proletariat.
Not proletariat. Working class, social class comprised of manual laborers, grassroots. Proletariat. Yeah, it's a plural form, but it's an adjective. Grassroots, proletariat. The CPC follows the Marxist and Leninist principles for a party of the proletariat. It is a vanguard party, which means that the party consists of the most ideologically enlightened and practically devoted few of the society. Vanguard party. Vanguard party. Vanguard. Let's find out its exact meaning because I get confused. Vanguard. It was a popular blue jean brand in Korea. Vanguard. Vanguard. Troops in the forefront of the battle, leading position in a movement, those who are on the cutting edge of trend. The vanguard, also called the advance guard, is the leading part of the advancing military formation. It has a number of functions including seeking out the enemy and securing ground in advance of the main force. Vanguard.
Vanguard. Vanguard.
Vanguard. It's a vanguard party, which means that the party consists of the most ideologically enlightened and practically devoted few of the society. In China, the CPC now claims it is 68 million members. Although this number easily makes it the largest party in the world, it only accounts for 5% of the entire population. For a long time, workers, peasants, and government officials dominated the party. Now more intellectuals, business managers, and other professionals have joined the party. Okay, so for a long time, workers, peasants, and government officials dominated the party. Now, more intellectuals, business managers, and other professionals have joined the party. In 2001, Jiang declared in his speech celebrating the 80th birthday of the party that private entrepreneurs, private business owners, self-employed artists, white-collar professionals employed by foreign companies, and joint ventures are welcome to join the party. The power base of the current regime has shifted away from its traditional constituency to the new social strata that represent the advanced force of production and new culture. Some commentators pointed out that the Chinese party state has had a right turn, although still turning on the left light. Still turning on. That's good expression. Chinese government is now turning right, even though it's turning on the left turn signal. The party membership symbolizes status, power, opportunity, and sometimes privilege. Therefore, it is extremely difficult to be accepted by the party and to become a formal member. The wooing to the acceptance may take many years, but it first starts with the expression of an individual's willingness to join. The aspirant often moves closer to the party cell leaders and party members, submits a letter of application, and invites the scrutiny from the party. To attract attention from the party, the applicant has to show his or her political activism and correctness, build strong support from the party leaders, win popularity among the ordinary people, and carefully create an image of being selfless and principled. Many times, merely personal connections and bribes can work well. Once the party cell leaders are convinced that the applicant is worth their time and energy, they are going to invite the applicant to listen to some party meetings and participate in some other activities. A veteran party member will also be assigned to act as a liaison between the party and the applicant. After several rounds of evaluation and sometimes more application letters from the applicant to show the soul searching process, the catharsis of mind, actually a strategy of self promotion, the party cell may decide to convene a meeting of the party members to consider the application. Catharsis of mind, actually a strategy of self-promotion. With 2 sponsorships from the party members, the applicant, often 1 out of 8, can be accepted as a party member with 1 year probation. With 1 year probation. With 1 year probation. With 1 year probation. During the probation period, the party will put on a microscope to examine the applicant, while also mobilizing ordinary people to send their feedback. If the applicant can survive the probation, then after a year, he or she becomes a formal member of the party. Certainly, this process can be very idealistic. As a matter of fact, many people, particularly among the farmers and urban workers, the party has lost its attractiveness. Many people joining the party with no ideal but utilitarian purpose. After all, the party membership is still an important passport to opportunities. Many people joining the party with no ideal but utilitarian purpose. After all, the party membership is still an important passport to opportunities. The CPC has been plagued by the loss of ideological enthusiasm and the rampancy of corruption among its members for the past 2 decades. The rampancy of corruption among its members for the past 2 decades. The rampancy of corruption. According to the official statistics from 1997 to 2001, 124,000 communist members were purged from the party. In a recent survey among the party members, total 1,131 working at universities and on white-collar professional jobs in Shanghai, 11% did not accept or only partially accept the party constitution. 31% of those white-collar professionals and 17% of those from universities believed that it is okay for them to have a religion or to participate in religious activities, despite the fact that the communist belief is atheistic. Several high-profile cases revealed that some party leaders have become Buddhists, members of the Falun Gong, and followers of many other folk religions. Probation, 1 year probation. Folk religions. Some officials have also invite feng shui masters and sorcerers to bless government sites or buildings. The clash between the Chinese government and the Falun Gong is a typical case pointing up the threat that the CPC has perceived from the heretical belief system. After the 1999 clampdown by the government, clampdown by the government, the Falun Gong has organized numberless resistances through low-tech as well as high-tech methods within and without China. Since 2004, low-tech as well as high-tech methods. Since 2004, the Falun Gong published 9 commentaries on the CPC to discredit its ideology and launched a campaign to call on the party members to quit the organization. It claimed that up to the first month of 2006, 7 million have left the CPC, including those who are living overseas and once were active members before they migrated. History is still evolving, so at this moment, we cannot have a full assessment on the challenge and damage that the Falun Gong has inflicted upon the CPC ideologically and organizationally. So folk religion, Falun Gong, a 1-year probation, purged. Besides the external challenges, the party has its biggest enemy within itself: rampant corruption. A few China specialists have concluded that the CPC has actively and effectively put many institutions, regulations, and politics in place to control corruption. Therefore, the Chinese Communist regime has put the corruption issue behind. However, most China watchers would be less optimistic. Some have argued that corruption has structural causes. The nature of the regime is responsible, or cadre corruption is only part of the institutional evolution of the regime. Some have concluded that China's anti-corruption efforts have been futile. Hu Angong, a Chinese economist, estimated in 2000 that every year the monetary loss resulting from corruption amounted to 13 to 16% of the GDP. From January to November 2005, prosecutors nationwide investigated 27,327 corruption cases involving 32,162 officials or public employees. Despite that, one NPC vice chairman, several vice governors or vice ministers, many bureau chiefs, and many officials at the lower ranks were executed. What? Executed? The trend of corruption has not been slowed. For example, in the year 2005 alone, 13 officials at the ministerial governor rank were punished. In comparison to the average member of 16 that officials at the ministerial rank were dealt with from 1997 to 2002. It is hard to say that the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, and the government have successfully found a way out of this paradox. Way out of this paradox. A way out of the paradox. A way out of this paradox. To fight corruption too little would be sure to destroy the corruption country. To fight it too much would be sure to destroy the party. So we learn such expressions as folk religion, a way out of this paradox, purged, prosecuted, 1 year probation, after the probation, hard corruption, the rampancy of corruption, the rampancy of corruption, the rampant corruption, rampancy of corruption, rampant corruption, cadre corruption, vanguard. So I think this article is a bit old, right? Maybe it was written in the year 2005, Falun Gong. It mentions the Falun Gong, Xi Jinping, Deng Xiaoping. It doesn't mention any Xi Jinping there, so it must be quite an old article. Huanggang, China confronts corruption, 2001, 2004. See, it's an old one. This companion was written by the College of Staten Islands Modern China Studies Group, an interdisciplinary program involving several departments including business, English, history, modern languages, media culture, political science, sociology, anthropology, and social work. So politocracy, Politburo. So it's a multi-discipline article. Inside the New China, a 4-part television series and interactive website by The Times, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and the ZDF network of Germany. In this companion overview frame the question: political governance, education, media culture, business, and economy. Additional resources about this companion index. Interesting article. Thanks for listening. Take care.